Je suis enchanté d'être avec vous, et c'est la fin de mon français. I am very proud to be here with you in a great city, with such distinguished panelists, international group of foreign ministers, scholars, political leaders, philosophers, Europeans, Americans, a litany of great human beings. And I want to just say as an American that I want to recognize two Americans that make me feel very proud. One is Professor Dershowitz of Harvard. If he's on your side, then you're on the side of the angels in the United States. And I am very happy that he's here. And first, when I first went into politics, the man that was responsible for my election in a crucial campaign visit in the state of New Mexico was Senator Ted Kennedy. And I'm very proud that his son, Congressman Patrick Kennedy, is here. And in case you can't tell which one is the Kennedy, it's the one with all the hair and the teeth. And you will see him shortly. You know, I have been involved with this issue about 6 months. And ever since the last 6 months, I've seen good things. But I've also seen bad things. The good things is an increase in support for Camp Ashraf, for this very important human rights cause, for the 3,200 human beings that right now their lives are in jeopardy. I've seen an increase in support across the board from European leaders, from American leaders in my own country, Republicans and Democrats, Andy Card from the Bush administration, and I from the Clinton administration, and so many other distinguished diplomats that we have here that have served under bipartisan presidents are united in this cause. And the support has grown, and that's been very positive. The European Parliament has taken action. There's an increasing support in the American Congress for this cause. There is also an international community that, because of you, the human rights activists that are so directly affected by this issue, have raised around the world, especially in Europe. Yet at the same time, we see the government of Iran increasingly becoming more hostile to the international community, saying they're going to build nuclear weapons at all costs, storming the British embassy very recently and killing British citizens, pressuring the Iraqi government to go into Camp Ashraf. We see the massacres at Camp Ashraf that have taken place, and you saw those pictures. We see an Iranian government laughing at the international community that says, let's try to work out arrangements to reduce your nuclear stockpile. They laugh at the international community. They attack and say that Israel must be destroyed. And so you see this growing hostility. You see this country also manipulating hostages, American hostages, foreign hostages, for political gain. Most recently, an American hostage in a video yesterday. At the same time, we look at the situation at Camp Ashraf, and things have not gotten better in the last 6 months. In fact, right now, this is the most important human rights issue, I believe, affecting the international community. Because in 21 days, those at Camp Ashraf may be relocated. And we must prevent that relocation. We must stand behind them. The special representative of the Secretary General has said just on Tuesday that the Human Rights Commission must complete its processing to ensure and give time for resettlement of Ashraf residents into third countries. The government of Iraq, however, remains defiant. And my hope is that my president, President Obama, who meets Prime Minister al-Maliki in Washington next week, will be strong. And I believe he will be strong. So what is this conference about? This conference here is part of the last 11th hour efforts to wake up the international community. And it's not just the United States. It's the United Nations. It's a European unity to stand up for responsibilities, to save the lives of 3,400 Iranian dissidents and use their power to prevent this dislocation. So, the honor and the values of the international community are at stake. We must warn the Iraqi government not to use violence and remind that government of their international obligations. We have to remove that deadline. We have to recognize the rights of those residents. We must abandon the idea of internal relocation. We have to say to that government, you must cooperate with the international community, with the United Nations. And I know, having been ambassador to the United Nations for the United States, that there are 5 powers that make most of the difference. They're the members of the Security Council. There are other very important countries that participate at the UN, but the countries that have veto power, the United States, Britain, France, Russia, and China, must exercise more leadership, must stand behind the residents of Camp Ashraf. So, we are here today to basically talk about what we must do. And I think this is, right now, the 11th hour. Just a few days. Now, my hope is that Camp Ashraf, that there will be given time, get rid of this deadline. Let the UN process these individuals. My preference would have been to leave Camp Ashraf where it is, but allow these individuals to resettle. Many European countries, I believe, will take them right here in this great nation. But what is happening right now is 32 human beings, their lives are in danger. And I was very happy to see the Viva Ashraf signs. By the way, I thought I was in a rally in New Mexico because, you know, viva is a Spanish word. Viva, viva. That was supposed to be funny, I guess not. I want to just say to you that I am proud to join in this effort. I am proud to sit with so many other leaders that are here today. But I want to say to all of you that whatever you can do, if it's a message of hope through the internet that you have with someone in Iran, if it's a prayer, if it's a contact that you have with a member of your religious leadership or your political leadership, that now is the time to act. We can all give speeches, and the speeches are going to be very good, but it's really going to be a call to action. I want to thank the leadership of this organization, Mrs. Rajavi, for your courage and your leadership. And your great speech, by the way. They get better every time. And I want to just say to all my colleagues that I sit here with us, that those of us on the American side, Republican and Democrat, generals and national security leaders and congressmen and Republicans and Democrats, we must do our part. But so should the UN, so should the European Union, and so should the international community. Thank you.